And our next speaker here, we have Amiraj Jawanda. Please help me welcome our next speaker, a visionary real estate leader with 9 years in the industry. As co-founder of the Global Real Estate Mastermind, along with Gurinder Brar, he's built a powerhouse network of over 200 top agents worldwide. A strategic mentor and entrepreneur, Amiraj is shaping the future of real estate through innovation, leadership, and growth. Please welcome Amiraj Jawanda, everyone. Woo!
Thank you, guys. John asked me to speak probably a month ago, and I didn't really think about it too much. I'm like, fuck it, why not? You know, I don't do these type of things usually. And one thing I realized, and I sat for a whole month, I thought about, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to say? I'm not a guy that really likes to prepare and write down things. I like to speak from the heart. And like Eddie was saying, authenticity is the highest form of communication, because when someone's speaking from the heart, you can really speak to people, right? So on my end, I'm just gonna tell you my story, what I've been through, how we've been able to create a network of 200 plus agents under just my downline, and then my partner's about 400 agents himself. And this all started only maybe 4 years ago in the middle of COVID. So I started my real estate journey in Edmonton, Alberta, 2017. I was 20 years old. I really had no idea what the fuck I was doing. I never had anybody in my family that was actually in real estate, nor did my dad build houses or had any type of development experience. But I was in school, I was super depressed, I had no idea what I was doing with my life, and I always had a whole lot of pressure on my shoulders. I always wanted to do something. I always wanted to be better, be a better version of myself, and see how I can change the world in my own way, right? So being in school, things were not going well. I was not doing too good in the grades. I got kicked out of my program. So what ended up happening, I came to a point in my life where I was like, enough is enough. I'm gonna pursue things my way. I'm gonna do things the way I wanna do them, and it started with real estate. And Eddie, we had a talk not long ago, and I truly believe real estate is probably one of the best businesses in the world. You're able to meet so many new people, you're able to travel all around the world, and you're able to create a network that, network and relationships that last a lifelong, your whole life, right? So me getting into real estate, the first 3 years, it was a lot of ups and downs. You're just focused on selling houses. You're trying to figure out, okay, how do I make my next commission check? How do I, try to sell 5, 10, 15 houses every month, and everybody's trying to make money at the end of the day. We're all going through different things. Everybody has things they have to pay for, and things like that, right? So the first 3 years, I bounced around. I was at Remax, I was at Maxwell, things like that. And when COVID hit, COVID changed a lot of lives. I think we can all agree that COVID really came in and changed the market completely. Reading what was going on and how people were so scared, being able to understand that, hey, the market is headed in a direction that, a lot of people haven't yet realized it. So in 2020, me and my partner, Gurinder Brar, we got together, and we were both in the same brokerage. We were selling real estate between Edmonton and Calgary. And it was going well. The first few months, everything was going really well, and our mind went to, if we can do this between Edmonton and Calgary, why not come to Vancouver? And that time, we talked to our broker at Remax, and he was like, you know what, you guys are doing good in Alberta, stay in Alberta, you guys don't need to go anywhere else. And it was kind of playing it down, and me and him looked at each other, and we're like, why is he saying that? Like, why is he not encouraging this growth? And it kind of caught us off guard, but when we started to do more research and started to see how the whole system would work, we would have to get our license in Vancouver, have to join another board, and then join another brokerage. And between us, that's like almost $70,000, $80,000 just in brokerage fees that we were gonna end up paying, right? And with EXP, I've heard of EXP for a very, very long time. I knew everything about it. And John, I think you can even attest what happened to the stock price during COVID. I was watching it go from $5 a share to $96 a share USD. So when Gurinder brought up EXP, it was a 5-second conversation. He said, "Bro, I heard about EXP. I feel like this will solve our problems in regards to going to a different city like Vancouver, a different province." All I told him, I said, "Bro, if you're down, I'm down. That's all I need to know." I'm like, I already know everything about it, and we know. And for him, he just needed that assurance. Little did I know that, fast forward like just 3.5 years, without even the intention of growing a revenue share downline, I have over 200 agents just under my downline. And the one thing I realized was, and I thought about it, I'm like, how is this really coming about? How was I able to get so many agents underneath me in regards to, bringing them on and being able to grow this ecosystem? And it came to authenticity, because at the end of the day, when you're true to yourself, people read that. And when you work on yourself every single day and you're putting in all the effort into becoming a better person, it makes a big difference in everything else in your life. We're all here. We're going to try to sell houses. We're going to hear about many things. People are going to buy leads. People do a lot of social media content. People do hundreds of different things. But at the end of the day, when it really comes down to something, you want to change your life, you got to change yourself first. And that's what I realized. Eddie, and I keep going back to Eddie because we had a meeting not too long ago about Scottsdale and how we have plans to go there. In the NHL, there's such a low percentage of people around the world that play there. So him seeing the type of discipline, the type of work ethic, the type of sacrifice that people put themselves through to get to those stages, that's the same sacrifice we got to do for ourselves. If we're looking, I've really thought about this, and seeing every level of person, from John Sy to Glenn to you name it, my partner Gurinder, it all comes down to the person first. So the other thing I wanted to talk about while I'm up here, still got 8 minutes, so but I think a big thing that gets overlooked in real estate is it's not how much houses you sell, or how many agents you have, or how much money you make. I think a lot of people overlook the fact of financial literacy within this business, because a lot of people make a lot of quick money, but at the same time they blow a lot of quick money. And I've prided myself in being a back-end expert. So me and my partner, how we're structured is, he's the number one guy, I'm the number two guy, but I'm the best number two guy. And I realize my role. We can't be doing everything the same. He has his ideas in regards to where he's gonna go, and I have my ideas on the back end where I'm gonna take care of things, right? So when I looked at this real estate game and I got to talk to more agents, I started to realize a lot of agents are in financial trouble, especially in the Vancouver area. I have one of my clients here that are sitting just back there. We had this conversation. In Vancouver, in the last 15 years, you could have bought a house anywhere. You could have been blind and had half a brain. You could have bought a house anywhere and made money. But where did people fall? It came down to their business backend and their discipline. Because people are over leveraging on lines of credit. People are taking out loans on things that they shouldn't be. People are buying things that they shouldn't be. And I tell my clients the same thing every single time. I said, real estate is always gonna win. Real estate over time, it's always gonna win. Life works very simply. It's about pattern recognition, pattern implementation, and pattern creation. When you're focused on those things, you can see that, hey, real estate is headed away. There's no more real estate. They can't make more real estate. So we know it's going up. But the problem is when people come down and they're focused on, they get distracted. When they're taking higher leverage loans, they're putting themselves in very difficult positions. That's where things come crashing down. And I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I watch the markets all the time. I see what's going around on the global economy. You see what Trump is doing. Some people are for it, some people are against it. That's a personal opinion, but at the end of the day, what is happening now is that things are gonna be very rocky for a little bit, in my opinion. This is just my perspective. But at the same time, I look at this as an opportunity. This is where people are gonna make some generational wealth. If you have your back end together, you're gonna make a lot of money. Because where I'm from, Edmonton, and everybody in Vancouver, I'm sure, have like the reason why we even got very big in Alberta, because we were already taking clientele from Vancouver and bringing them into Alberta before COVID. And then now this whole thing about, oh, invest in Alberta, buy in Alberta, eightplexes, CMAC, all this stuff, right? People don't understand the actual fundamentals of how these things work. I did a little bit of research. The most CMAC applications are in Edmonton, Alberta, if you didn't know that. Now, the other thing is, a lot of these people bought these projects based on 5% down. And now, if you understand what's happening with CMAC, they're changing all their rules. They have over leveraged. They found out that they're too open to the market and their risk is way too high, because a lot of people went in, put 5% down, and those numbers that they were projecting, any projection project, it's like, okay, if you're starting a project in 2020 and it's finishing in like 2024, numbers change. In 4 years, how much changed? Interest rates went up, down, rent demand went up or down. A lot of things end up changing, right? Now what's happening is that these 5% down projects, those numbers are not coming back the same. And a lot of people have leveraged a lot of money into those projects. And I'm not here to say, I'm not trying to be a bearer of bad news, right? It's a lesson that people are going to learn, unfortunately. But at the end of the day, with every bad thing, there's always great opportunity, in my opinion. If you structure your business right, if you from the get-go are thinking financially about how my back end looks like, not just for today, but for the next 10 to 15 years, it makes a big difference in your business. You don't want to be one of those agents. And I know people have a lot of this is what it comes down to, even with self-discipline. People make a lot of money. They get drug problems, alcohol problems, things like that. It's scary out there. And like, we're sitting in a room of 250 people. We don't know what everybody else is going through. There's some people going through hell, and we wouldn't be able to tell. Right? So what I looked at as how I want to change the world in my way is change myself and be able to teach other people how to change themselves as well. Because being around people like John, being around people like my partner Gurinder, my life has changed. And just because my life changed, my family's life has changed. You know, so we really have the power to change a lot if we are intentional about our thoughts. If we start from the beginning, our person, and we treat our business the same way. Our business account, our company, what you own, if you treat it the same way you treat your body, you're gonna get either side of results. It could be good or bad, depending on what you're doing. And everything's a compound effect. It can go one way or it can go the other. So my main goal for this talk was to, I really want to provide insight in regards to how people carry themselves on a day-to-day basis, but also carry your business in that same direction. Because things do change. I've been involved in my family business for a long time. I've probably seen $30 to $40 million worth of income come in since the age of 16, and nothing to show for on my parents' side. My dad's a grade 10 dropout from India, barely knows a lick of English. But he was able to do something in that standpoint to show me that, hey, it doesn't matter who you are, everything is possible. But his only lack was that he didn't have enough information and enough education to handle the back end. And me seeing that, it makes me think about real estate in a much different way. So at the end of the day, I really want people to focus on being a better person, but also putting yourself first and making sure that your business is operating in a proper way on a day-to-day basis. Don't make short-term decisions. Don't be over-leveraging yourself. Everybody, I know in Vancouver, it's different. Like, I come here, I read energy all the time. it's a different type of energy here because you have so many people, right? You have so many agents. Vancouver is like 20 years ahead of Edmonton and 10 years ahead of Calgary. So what you guys were seeing in 2006 here is what's happening in Edmonton there. And that's the same thing with people. Like you guys have, when you have so many people evolving on through this population, it's the market, you're gonna see the market forecast things for other smaller towns because eventually they will catch up. So for me, seeing that situation, I realized that, hey, like Edmonton is, and Alberta in whole, it's about to blow up. A lot of people are going to move there. A lot of people are going to invest there. But if we don't change the way we think, the same thing's going to happen there that's happened here. But it has to be different, right? So it starts with the people. My time is up, guys. I really appreciate everybody coming here. John, thank you so much for putting this event together, man. I really want you guys to think, everybody sitting here, there's 250 people here today. Don't fucking leave until you make a decision that's going to do something for your life today. We all have an opportunity to change our lives, change the lives around all of us and our families. So please take that in mind, and thank you for your time. Thank you, guys.